You see that? That beautiful thing in my hand is a smoked prime rib roast bone. As you can see, I've already taken a couple bites out of it because, man, it was just that amazing. But we're gonna show you how to make this, so make sure you stick around to the end of the video to watch how it all comes out. Be sure to leave a like, leave a comment below. Make sure you're subscribed, click that notification bell so that you know when new videos are uploaded. Happy birthday to me, prime rib and accordion potatoes. Let's get into this. This all begins with 2 sticks of unsalted butter. Now this is just 1 block of Kerrygold butter, but it's the equivalent of 2 sticks. So if you don't have Kerrygold, 2 sticks of unsalted butter, but make sure it's nice and soft. To this, we're going to add 1 tablespoon of herb de Provence. Follow that up with 1 tablespoon of freshly ground black pepper. I've got some of my rainbow pepper in there. We're going to add a tablespoon of smoked paprika. Follow that up with a tablespoon of granulated garlic. Now we're going to go with 1 teaspoon of mustard powder, 1 teaspoon of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of kosher salt, and about a teaspoon or so of chopped fresh parsley. Now, with the back of a fork, mix that all together, and that is your prime rib rub compound butter. When you've mixed it thoroughly, it should look something like this. Set that aside and let's take a look at our rib roast. Now, I pulled this thing out about 4 hours ago and salted it as though I was dry brining it and just let it sit at room temperature. You can see that it's got a butcher's twine going down the middle of it. This is because the butcher was nice enough to cut the bone away from the meat for me, but not completely, so the twine is there to hold the bone in place. Now, if you look closely, you can see where the salt did not penetrate the bone or the fat, but you can see that the meat is a deep red, almost like a dry brine, but we needed this thing at room temperature before we smoke it. The next thing to do is coat this thing with that prime rib rub butter. Coat it very well, make sure you get underneath those bones too. When you're all done, this is what it looks like. Any butter you have left over, set that aside. We're going to need it for later. Now we're going to take it out of the tray. We are going to stand it on its bones directly on the grates of our smoker set at 225 Fahrenheit. Now, I'm sure you've seen these accordion potatoes on TikTok and plenty of other videos, so let's go ahead and make them. We're going to start off with russet potatoes. We begin by chopping the ends off. Now stand it on its end and slice all the sides off. Square it up as best as you can. When you're done, you should have this nice little potato box. If you got a little bit of skin on there, no worries. We're going to cut this right down the middle into 2 potato planks. Now, using a pair of chopsticks to stop the blade from going all the way through the potato, we're going to make vertical cuts in this thing straight across, just like so. And if your chopsticks are like mine, where they're thicker at one end than the other, we want to use the thinnest side all the way across, make sure everything is even. Flip them around and continue slicing. Now flip the potato over and repeat the same process, but this time do it on an angle, like this. Now pick it up and gently spread it out to amuse yourself with the magic you've created. When I finished slicing them, these potatoes went into a boiling pot of water for about 8 minutes. They come out and very, very gently pat them dry. They need to be extremely dry because guess what? We're going to the fryer. I said gently, whatever. Into the fryer at 275 for 5 minutes. And after 2.5 hours in the smoker with hickory smoke, this is what we've got. Now, when the internal temperature of the meat was about 129 degrees, I did use my blowtorch to give it a nice crust on the outside. Looks amazing, doesn't it? I pulled it off at 135 degrees Fahrenheit. Remember that prime rib rub butter that we had left over? I put it into this little cast iron dish, threw that on a smoker for the final 10-15 minutes of the cook so it would melt, get a little smoke in it. Now we're going to baste this kid in this butter before we let it rest for 15 minutes. Remember our potatoes? Well, after frying for 5 minutes at 275, they came out. I cranked the oil back up to 375. Back in the oil they go. And after about 3 or 4 minutes at 375 degrees Fahrenheit, this is what we've got. Now we're going to shake off the excess oil, throw them onto a plate lined with paper towel to help them drain, and make sure we hit them with some kosher salt right away while they're nice and hot so it sticks. Now let's set the potatoes aside and turn our attention to our meat. It's been resting for 15 minutes. I just want to get a good look at this beautiful crust. Oh, I did such a good job with that blowtorch. Before we carve this bad boy, we got to take the bones off. Now remember, the bones were partially cut by my butcher and they were held together with this butcher's twine. So the first thing we do is we cut the butcher's twine and we take that off. Now we can remove the bones, and this feels so tender, I don't even think I need a knife. I think I can just pull them right off. Now I could cut it, but I think a little twisteroo action will do the job for me. Oh yeah, this is coming right off. Look at that. Beautiful. And before we start carving, I am feeling the urge to cut these bones apart because I'm hungry. And let's see what we're looking like inside. Oh my God. First, my favorite part, the rib. Look at that. That is just, look at the juices dripping all over. Oh, come on. Now, this is the chef's treat. I eat some of the meat before I give it to the puppies. I'm sorry, I have to go in for a second bite because that's, wow. Are you kidding me? I mean, that is, holy monkey. That's good stuff. The smoke, that seasoned butter, you can't imagine what the difference is between a rub and a rub compound butter. It's just, oh, it's amazing. Wow. Now we plate. And it's the moment of truth, the very first slice. Now this one will be mine because I happen to be a big fan of the end slices, even though those are typically a little bit more well done than the middle. But let's see if it's medium rare the way I wanted it to be. Oh my goodness. Wow. Okay, slice number 2. You know what? I'm just going to shut up and let you enjoy this. I'm going to enjoy it as well. I can't not let Obi try a little bite. Sit. Sit. Good boy. Wait. Wait. Wait for it. Hey, good boy. Good boy. How is that? Good? Love you. Now that the carving is done, it's time to plate everything up. You'll notice a drizzle of white cream on the potatoes along with some chives. That white cream is a garlic aioli that I made earlier before I started filming. The recipe will be in the description below. Trust me, you want to make it. It's amazing. I am so ready to dig into this. But before I try that prime rib, I gotta give one of these potatoes a try, man. I mean, oh, just look at that. It's beautiful. But wait, check this out. You hear the crunch? Telling you, that is the way to make potatoes. Holy cow. I'm dying for this. I'm gonna take a nice chunk right out of the middle. Now, I already tasted the meat off the bone, but notice I took an end piece. See that crust? Wow. Look at that. Soft, tender, juicy, delicious, perfectly cooked. Don't eat boring food. Make this at home, especially if you got a smoker. Now, if you don't have a smoker, throw it in the oven. But make that butter. Make that rub butter for your prime rib. You're gonna love it. It is melt in your mouth tender. The flavor of the smoke, the hickory is not overpowering, but it's present. Oh, and that spice rub butter. I don't know. Man, one more. I have to. It is that good. Please do this at home. Please. Don't go out and spend tons on prime rib that's under-seasoned and overcooked. Make it at home. Make it like this. You'll thank me later. All right. I'm gonna finish eating. Happy birthday to me. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And leave me a comment. Tell me what else you want me to make. I got a lot more coming this year. We got some Wagyu steaks coming. We've got a dry aged steak experiment coming. All kinds of wonderful things. So be sure to subscribe, click that notification bell so that you are notified when new videos are uploaded. And then you won't miss anything. We'll see you next time. All American Cooking. Bye-bye. Mm.